New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Rockin' the Love.
We're here. Hi, everybody.
I'm Robyn.
And I'm Gil.
And we're here. So today we are so excited to be here. We are talking about space. Space. Okay. Oh, God.
The final frontier.
Oh, no. Oh, God. He's got the comedian hat on today. Take it off, please. Pray hard out there. Pray hard. Anyway, we're going to have a good time. But we're talking about space, something that we all bump into in relationships, you know, needing space, wanting space. What is space? Interpreting space.
Having too much space.
Yeah. How does it serve us and what are we going to do with it? But before we do that, we want to invite you to please like our show. Thank you already for people that have liked it. Very on top of it. I love that. And just make sure we know you're here. Like Shay is showing us today. Hey, Shay. Shay is one of our longtime listeners and a great healer person. And what else?
Well, we encourage everyone to like our pages and check that out. We discovered last week we were very close to getting things out to everywhere on our Facebook page, and we're able to push over the top so that we can.
So thanks for subscribing and doing all those good things.
It makes a difference.
If you see a place where you can click, just click.
Yeah, whatever you're listening to us through, make sure you like that page. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, so here we are. It is the last week in January. The first month of the year is almost gone.
That's crazy. 2026 is off to a running start, and it's good.
It is good.
It's good. It's a lot of things happening in the world that are requiring processing, but it's good. And I'm happy to know that I'm happy to be somewhere in my life where I can look at the bigger picture instead of just the smaller pictures, because otherwise I would be nuts.
I know some of you may argue that he is nuts.
Well, yeah, I would be nutsier.
Anyway, it's very busy here in Albuquerque, and I know it's busy all over the place. I know when I talk to people, everybody is like, there's so much going on. And not only in our own lives, but in the world. And even, you know, without getting into the world, we take on that collective energy, you know, and that fear, that doubt, that excitement, that possibility, all of those things, you know, and it complicates our world. I know, like, Gil and I are so similar in so many ways, but when we're not, we are so different. And so when he says good night to go to bed, he says good night, and he's gone in like 60 seconds. When I say good night, I'm like, I lay down and my head starts to replay everything in the day and everything that's going on in the world. And I'm like, hey, wait, I forgot to tell you. And he's like, I'm sleeping. I'm like, but you just said good night. I'm sleeping. Anyway, I mean, so I know, like, when I lay down, my brain goes, you know, and starts replaying and thinking, and what am I going to do about this and that and all of those things. And so it is a good practice to be able to calm yourself down.
Well, Yes.
if you don't have a partner that can wake up and do it for you.
Yep. And I think that's the other piece about space, actually, is that we do things differently. You know, by the time I get to good night, that means I am tired and done with the rest. So I'm letting it go. Whereas you get to good night and you relax into a space of, so what was the day like? Wasn't it wonderful? You know,
Yeah.
so-and-so called me and they told me about, I don't care.
It's because that's where I have the space. Because when I'm
Right.
before that, I'm like, I'm in the go mode and I'm doing other things. And when I lay down, I'm like, okay, oh, I forgot to tell you, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, space.
Space. And it's especially hard, especially interesting in space in a relationship when there is a lot going on in someone's work or some other aspect of somebody's life, because that just eats into our perceptions of how much bandwidth that person's giving us, or how much bandwidth we can give, or whatever, all those things.
Look,
Aha! Savannah does it too.
Savannah does it too. Let me say for the record, she's acknowledging that I'm right.
Oh, that's what she meant by that. Can't get the brain to slow down until I'm actually laying down, and then I want to process.
It's true. And maybe it's a woman thing. I don't, I'm not trying to be sexist or any of those things, but, it's the way we process. It's like, I think we're so busy like holding it all together throughout the day that when we finally lay down, we're like, oh, okay, now we can start to think about it. Whereas you men in general are a little bit more analytical, and you're like, you have reasons for why you do things and how you do things during the day. We just get them done. So it's, I think it's really interesting. So anyway.
Yeah. So there you go. That's part of what we're going to talk about today. And it has been a great week, and we are really happy to have you all here with us today. And we have some good news for you today.
We do. This is our segment where we talk about what's good in the world, because we need to hear it right here and right now.
Think all of us have heard the things that are very, very saddening, and we want to hit on some things that indicate that life is not only that.
Yes. So tell me what you got.
So I have a story about some high school students in Virginia, I believe it is. Virginia, Vermont. Anyway, Virginia, I think. And they're in shop class. They have auto shop, which these days seems like an amazing thing to begin with. However, they got connected with another group that was getting cars donated and or getting shops to donate time to repair cars, etc., for single moms in the community. So what's happened is about 4 or 5 times a year, they're able to complete another car that had been donated to them, that they have gone through and redone and set up so that it's safe, so that it runs well, so that it works well, and they give it to a single mom in the community that needs it. So the cool thing is how powerful the kids feel, because they feel like they really accomplished something, and it makes sense to them why you repair the stupid car. I think so often, if we don't know why we're doing something, it's like, why should I do this? I could get a new one, or this car's old, or whatever. But if you can have a reason and it serves a purpose, and suddenly you go, that was well worth spending my time on.
Well, and I would just add to that nowadays, and this isn't necessarily my opinion, it's what we've been reading as well, that kids are like, get a new one.
Right.
Because so they're understanding.
Well, they don't realize that they have the power to fix things even. This is a great thing for someone to know, wow, I can create this.
Right.
I can take something and revamp it and make it work again. I don't have to just go, well, if it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to find a way to get something else.
Right.
But anyway, some of the kids talked about meeting the moms, and they have a thing where I guess they invite the mom, and then they open the garage door at the school, and they have the car with the ribbon on it and the bow, and
That's great.
and mom's standing there with her kids or whatever, and just how much how cool it was to do that.
It's like their own game show.
Yeah, and today, just so you know, I was between two stories. The second one was about how. What should I not say?
Go ahead now.
Oh, why? It's not what you're doing.
Go ahead. Producer Michael, will you explain to him sometimes the way segments work?
Oh my goodness. I was going to say the second one was about the cool stuff that Delta Airlines is doing, but I decided this one was better. That was the whole sentence.
Okay. So maybe
right.
Next week you'll share about Delta Airlines.
Perhaps.
Okay. All right. My story is about a little boy in Ethiopia 41 years ago that found himself at the mercy of strangers and kindness and all that thing with a man named Jim Cotton. And he was a cardiothoracic surgeon who took him in Atlanta and operated on him when he was having heart failure, and all kinds of things were going on. And he took this little boy and found a way to give him the surgery. And apparently he's an amazing doctor who found many ways to give many kids surgeries and raise funds for them. And he then went back to his home country and ended up getting a fever and having to come back. And he stumbled into he came back into the hospital with him, and he would have died. Excuse me, but he had to have open heart surgery again. And he ended up having to move to the United States, his whole family, because he needed to be on with blood thinners and have the equipment that we had here. And he did that. And so all of that is amazing and a goodwill story in itself. But 41 years later, he has been a doctor. He became a doctor, and he went back to Ethiopia to give heart surgeries to kids and do the same kind of thing that the doctor had done for him. And he ended up doing the surgeries with the doctor that operated on him.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I just thought it was such a great pay it forward. And I mean, there's so many lessons in that story, but just the good work that goes on in the world. And, that's people continue to give generously and all of those things. So.
And it's really cool when the opportunity, I think, shows up for someone to have a connection to something that they did for someone years ago that is still paying off. Is really, they can see what happened as a result. And
it goes full circle.
Right. And it goes full circle.
Because in that story, many times the child thought, this is just God's will. I'm not meant to be here. I'm not meant to live. I'm not meant to. Well, clearly he was meant to.
Right.
And so he's using that and paying it forward.
Very cool.
Yes, Savannah. Yes. That's so politically correct the way she said that.
Might be slightly gendered.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's really nice.
I love that. Anyway, that's our good news for the week. We are going to take a break because I think this is a super juicy topic. And when we come back, we are going to talk about space, the place for space. That's all we're going to give you right now, but it's going to be good. So don't go away. Let's hear a few things and come right back here to New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you. Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk, Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Unity of Garden Park, New Thought Philadelphia, the Sunshine Cathedral, Unity of Savannah, and the Olmstead Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network.
And we're back. Hello, hello, hello. I am Robyn Rice Olmstead.
And I am Gil William Olmstead. And
we're
we are
Rockin'
together
the Love.
rocking the love.
That's what we're doing. We were kind of goofy today. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So today I want to get to our topic. We are diving into a topic today that every couple bumps into and every person bumps into, I think, whether you're in a relationship or whether it's your relationship to your job, your work, time, any of those things. You can look at it any way you want to.
That's really true. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So, and that is space. Space. What does that mean? We're not talking about the cold, distant kind, not the something wrong kind, but the kind that lets the relationship breathe. Right? So we're talking about today what space really means and why we need it and how men and women often interpret it quite differently and how we can create boundaries that feel more loving instead of threatening or scary. All right.
So, as Savannah might say, it's slightly gendered.
There you go. There you go, Savannah. The audience is listening. All right. So, yeah, so settle in because this is a conversation really that can shift our entire emotional climate and the entire emotional climate of a relationship, right?
So how do you know when thing is calling for space? Have you thought about that in this way? How do you know that you need space in a relationship, or you need to be making sure that you're going home from your job and not taking it with you, or whatever that thing is?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking if any of that showed up in the stuff you were thinking about, or should I share that?
Well, go ahead if you have something specific. I mean, my answer would just be, I know because I start to notice how I'm reacting
Mm-hmm.
and how I feel in my body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just looked up a few things, and one of them is when you start to feel overwhelmed or smothered somehow, and if minor issues are becoming major issues between you and things at work, or between you and your significant other, whatever that is, if you've stopped doing the things you love to do because you're, the other person or other stuff in your life doesn't allow you to do it. Anyway, and those things result in that resentment and losing our sense of self. So those are the indicators that, wow, maybe I need to adjust, and maybe I need to look at, what does space mean in my life? And, you know, I was thinking about it in terms of a job, that space is those days off. Space is that occasional vacation. Space is
Sometimes.
coming home and not doing emails, you know, kind of thing. I mean, all those things are just things that allow someone to, it's not to get away, it's to rejuvenate and to re-inspire oneself for whatever it is that they're doing on a regular basis. And I think that's true of relationships in a lot of ways too. It's re-inspiring oneself for the relationship so that it's not the only thing happening in one's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think that the thing about it is but the thing about it is somehow it's gotten a negative connotation, right?
Well, right, yeah, because it sounds like you don't want to be in some situation, and the reality is, I think, in all those cases, at some level, we don't want to only be in that situation all the time. You know, we don't want to only be in whatever this bubble is. If it's our job, if it's our spouse, if it's whatever, because then we don't have anything that stimulates us from the outside to give energy to the relationship, to the work, to whatever it is.
Right. So when the request for space is really about, it's really a request. I mean, it's at the end of it, what you want is to come back together.
Right.
And so it's really a request that it's not so much about pulling apart, but it's about learning how to come back together so that you can be more present, so that you can be more clear, so that you can come with more love, more commitment, whatever it is. It's like we said almost in the beginning. It's like an infusion. It's like recharging.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah,
and that's what I was getting at. It's that thing where, you know, we are able to add things to the relationship or whatever because there's been some stuff that's bigger than just what's happening right here. And that allows us to come together and then also expand, because now we're both bringing things that are really valuable into the circle.
Yes. And it's been proven that space isn't, it's not, it's health-wise, it's beneficial. It's what
Right.
we need to regulate our nervous system, to reconnect. So, but we know all that in theory.
In theory,
So
yes.
How, so when how do we get to a place of asking for it, taking it, doing that and feeling okay about it? Because really so much of the time we get to a place where by the time we go, I just need space, we're past the point really where we needed the space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because in some ways it's not about space, it's about a healthy balance in your life and in your relationship. You know what I mean? And I think we often get so tied up in trying to please someone else or feeling like we can't disappoint them or whatever it is that we somehow push some things aside in our life that now begin to feel out of balance. You know, without that balance, then we're resentful, then we're frustrated, then, you know, the person puts the toothpaste on with the wrong cap and you're mad because, you know, everything makes you mad.
Right.
You know?
So communication. Communication is the key to, but it is.
No. Part of it is, but no, then this is one of the things where we disagree. It's not all about the communication. It's about maintaining balance in your life. So it may be about communicating to your partner so that they understand why you're doing what you're doing. But I don't know that it's about communicating to them all kinds of things. It's just about not putting everything aside to be in your relationship.
But it's about communicating where you're at in the moment that you're there, as opposed to if you hang in there and do something just because I want you to do it, and you're like, okay, I just need to get through this, and then I'll have space, or I'll be able to do it a different way. And that if it doesn't happen like that, you're frustrated, and by the time something minimal happens, you react in a big way. And I'm just using you and I.
Can you speak in the eye?
Yeah, no, because I'm speaking about us, but I'm speaking in general. But you know what I mean? It's like if we let it go that long instead of being true to the moment, because I think while we're processing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I think sometimes it's figuring out too, as a partner, how do I honor the balance and listen to what's being communicated without them having to come out and expressly say, I absolutely need this every time.
Yeah, and I think actually what Savannah put in the chat, the Kahlil Gibran quote that says something like, let there be spaces in your togetherness.
Yes.
For autonomy, for deepening, for learning and discovering more about ourselves. Yeah. And so
basically we're not saying anything new at all, which we knew, but we're reminding ourselves of how true it is. And that, let there be spaces in your togetherness says that part of being together is being in relationship without being in the same room, if you will. Being in relationship without being involved in all the same things at the same time. You know what I mean?
I do.
I mean, so in part it's about how we are still functioning together, even though there's space in the functioning.
Yeah. And Savannah also said, I think it's best to ask for space when it's most needed, not when it gets to a breaking point that requires courage. Well, I think when it gets to a breaking point, it's a whole different thing.
Well, then it becomes, for me, frustration and blame and things like that, because I've done this and I've done that and I've done the other thing, and now you want more. You know what I mean? And that's where the breaking point hits.
But because you individually, we've created story up until that point. So we've perpetuated it even longer, and we've made up, then it's become a whole different thing. Whereas if I had said to you, I really need space today, I just need to get some things together and da-da-da-da-da.
I really want to go get my nails done.
Exactly. Whenever you want to get your nails done, I'm willing to let you go.
Really? I'm pretty much sure you'd be absolutely have to go with me.
Okay, maybe.
I think that's a good example for me.
Okay, maybe not. but no, seriously, you know what I mean? It's like if we ask in the moment, and I think what you're saying, Sven, is absolutely right. And I think it takes courage to ask in the moment.
Well, I think that's what she meant by that. It requires courage to ask when it's most needed instead of waiting to the breaking point.
Yeah. I'm sorry, he's interpreting you better than I am. But you see, that's because it's not a gender thing. We can interpret it from any time, any side. No, but So yes. So that is the question. So how do we do that? Because I think it's the same with a job.
Yeah.
Or it's the same with a parent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or even a child. We like to let them, we think on some level, okay, if I just give them this space, this time it's going to work, or whatever. And like, how do we balance that?
Well, apparently we communicate openly, which you said before.
Okay.
But that's one of the ways.
I'm going to share Savannah. She says, I also think it's learning how your partner needs to be most supported in taking space. Like, what does that mean? And what does it mean to have trust in? What does it mean to have trust in? You guys can read. And oftentimes that is where the communication breaks down because people don't always know how to communicate those needs or even know what they need. Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Well, I think it's really interesting. What's occurring to me is thinking about riding my bicycle and the fact that, recently I haven't because I was sick and I still haven't quite gotten there. But it's not that you don't support me in that, but at the same time, it doesn't get brought up in terms of scheduling or those kinds of things. Nope, stop it. Unfold those arms. Do not go. Look, you can't cover it with that bunch of words there. So, but I mean, it's the subtle piece of, well, I really, we really want to do this and we really need to get this done and we want to do that. And so then if I decide to let it go, then it goes on. And the reality is that my energy is different. All kinds of things change when I do some of those kinds of things. That's all I'm getting at. I mean, I cut myself out of it, which gives me less tolerance even, or less ability to invest in the things you want me to invest in anyway, or that I should be investing in with you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Are you complete?
I think so.
I'm exhibiting patience.
Oh, it's lovely.
So I would ask you in those situations, though, when you say it doesn't even get scheduled, have you really sat down to make a schedule? And this is where I go back to communication, because I think, not that everything in life has to be a rigid schedule. God knows, I think schedules were created to be what's wrong with my mouth today? to be gone astray from. But no, I mean, I think that it's just creating some order, and things like that, like using that example. You say it doesn't get brought up, and I don't think that's exactly true. You were on a schedule for a while where you were getting up every morning, and that was fine, and nobody tried to talk you out of that. But like we talked about off camera, part of it is finding that balance so that both people are fulfilled, right?
Right.
And so it's easy if you're gonna throw out the schedule thing, but then like the question would be, okay, great. So when's the rest of the stuff scheduled that fulfills the relationship and the partner? You know what I mean? So I think it's balance. I think it's so important. I mean, I think what you're saying is accurate, and there's more. Savannah's laughing a lot.
I hear you, and I think you're right to some degree. And I think there's more to it. There's that sense that the important things in the schedule do not include what's important to an individual in terms of their space sometimes. We don't make that an important piece.
And
we say that it's more important we get all these things done over here. And so if something has to go, that's what's going.
And is that the truth?
Well, I'm just saying that's the feeling sometimes.
But is it? But who makes that choice ultimately?
That's the choice of not taking the space that one needs.
But who makes that choice?
The one taking the space or not.
Right. And so
it's sometimes you have to do the hard communication to say, I need to do this.
And in terms of relationships, boss, work, partners, and the thing that would make that go smoother is if there was an and to that sentence, not just I can't do it, I'm taking space. I can't do it right now. I need a little space. And how about if we schedule that for Thursday? Or how about if we come back to that tonight? But it's like, for me anyway, sorry, I was having a gender moment because I feel that I've had this discussion with many a woman. It's like that feeling like the door has shut. I can't, and then so you're like, I as a woman go, well, but wait. And then of course, I want to fix it, or I want to make it, or I want you to understand, or I want you to have been listening to me for the last 24 years and understand that you need to say this, even if you don't mean it, just to get out of the room so you can keep moving.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right to some degree. It's not like it's new information necessarily.
But it's almost like you double down.
But it's from
I'm
the
not
other.
going to say that.
It's the other perspective. It's the other perspective that I think sometimes gets lost, and that is, I'm telling you what I need in this moment, and you want me to stay here and talk about it and cut into the time that I need to have the space to do what I need to do.
Yeah, but then if you don't, you end up cutting into the time that you need to have to do the space to do the thing that you wanted to do, because you end up arguing or trying to justify for me, or trying to make sure you still love me, or you trying to make sure I'm okay.
So how do we have space without having to reconfirm in every moment that we still love each other? How do we trust that? How do we trust that? So that we can allow each other whatever space. And I think that's the discussion that's really here.
That's certainly one of those, but not with your boss.
No. However,
yeah,
no, it would be different.
It would be different, but it's the same thing.
It's not like
your boss. You would like your boss to say, "I value you as an employee. You need to do what you need to do to take care of yourself and come back ready to be."
Yes.
Go team. Well, those are good questions. Thank God Savannah has something else to say. Let's see.
She's going to save us from ourselves.
Yeah. Maybe it's both people need to get the space they need and also come back to process what Robyn wants and needs.
Yes, I think you're right, Savannah. Whatever it is, we have to come back and process what Robyn wants.
I don't understand the problem.
Where's the issue there, right?
Yeah, right. Vulnerable share. It's kind of like me saying to you earlier, I need to take care of myself right now because I'm not in the right headspace. I can't do it now, but here I am out of the shower, still wanting to add something to the conversation while still maintaining my boundary and needing my own space to do what I need for self-care today. Yeah, sorta. Kinda. So for those of you that weren't
part of that
conversation, I had a call with Savannah today, and I said, do you want to be on our show? Simply because I thought she would have a lot to add to this topic, which indeed we see she does. But, she was like, no, I need space. I need to do this, that, and the other thing. So, which was fine. It was really literally, 45 minutes ago. It was just a thing. Yeah.
And what you're saying is, in that moment, she didn't feel like she could commit to coming on and being fully present, but that didn't mean she didn't have anything to contribute or didn't want to somehow be participating with. So that I think that's part of that space idea. What does it mean to have space and still be part of what's going on at some level?
Well, but
having the space to be able to say, no, I'm not going to fully commit, but I'm here, or whatever that is. And, I'm just using that as a jumping off point.
Yeah. And to use our relationship, because
that's
for those of you that don't know, this is Reverend Savannah Noel, talking to us after her shower, apparently, from Seattle. And, I know that she is a wealth of information and insights and all of those things. And so, but I think this is an example of space also in a friendship, because I didn't go, oh, come on, Savannah, please. We really need you, or we really like that, or we really, I was like, okay. It's giving that space. I got it. She needed space. I was offering it to her as, as another space,
as an opportunity,
as a, a point to process. But yeah, being able to respect that, because I could have said, I probably could have got her to do it if that was my intention.
Right.
I could have pulled the best friend card.
Pulled the best friend card, pulled the whatever card. Yes. And I think that's the thing. And I'm going to go to this one. She says, exactly, but I had to communicate it clearly, even though I usually would just jump on and that maybe not get what I needed today. So it gave her, she was able to say it and take the space she needed. And that didn't mean she was completely cutting anyone out or anything out. It just meant she needed to do it a different way today.
And let me say another thing, though, because in my interpretation of all of this, she also then came and watched the show and is supportive. So that's kind of like the women version of, no, I'm serious. I'm sorry for the gender stuff. But like this, I feel like that's her saying, I support you guys and I love you guys and I couldn't do it today. And on some other level, whereas, I'm just saying that because I think sometimes that's the piece that's missing, especially in relationships, is it doesn't, like, it sometimes just feels like a cutoff instead of, I can't do it that way, but I'm here. Know that I'm here. And I think somewhere along the beginning of our marriage, and possibly the other day too, I said to you, at the end of these fights or conversations or discussions or whatever is feeling, not harmonious, I need you to say, and I love you and I want to be with you and, you're the apple of my eye, whatever it is you say.
I can't wait to get back to see you in an hour, whatever.
But something, because in my monkey mind, there are times when you need space and I'm like, what did I do? Is it about me? Are you processing about me? No, I know full well after all these years that it's really never about me.
Well, you know full well that my brain isn't working that hard.
There's that. But you know what I mean? But I still need to hear or to know. And yeah, it's my own stuff. I fully claim it. I will tell you straight off the top, up until now, I've had abandonment issues, and that's just where a lot of my stuff stems from. And so, yeah, I need to hear it again, or whatever.
So I think this is interesting. Shay, thanks for sharing this. I was in the wrong chat. I was getting triggered by being left out of the conversation, which is exactly what needing space triggers. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I just was laughing at the instance and when it occurred and all of that. It just makes so much sense. If you do have more you want to share, Shay, we're still here.
Yeah, Shay, jump in. Yeah, I wondered why you were so quiet, actually. So anyway, yeah. So, So thank you, Savannah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all that. And Shay, thank you for sharing whatever you share with whoever, who's probably wondering why you're so triggered. Anyway, yeah. So how does one ask for it you know, Shay says you should see the other chat. She was feeling my abandonment issues. Yeah. How do we move this to a place? And actually, Savannah, I think that you have gotten much better over time because I've known her a very long time. Way too long to say anymore. But I think you've gotten better at.
I would hope so. She's grown fully into an adult woman, and well.
Okay, but well, some of us don't get better, you know. But I mean, you've gotten better. I mean, in a much more conscious way of being able to ask for what you need. And I think I don't know. For me, I would just say some of the keys are. Well, it's a tough one because I was going to say really sharing where you're at, and that's not always what you want to hear.
The other person?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And for some of us, then we don't want to disappoint, we don't want to hurt, so we don't press something, and then that's where the resentment shows up later because we didn't push it at that point where we would have caused some discomfort, and then it becomes larger discomfort. And so it's learning that balance, and it's learning to trust one another enough to both allow something to be uncomfortable for someone else, and also allowing someone to share something with us that is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. So Savannah says it's always a work in progress without needing to feel hostile or defensive about asking for what she needs. And I think that's so it's so poignant in a way because I think it starts how do we get it? I think it starts with self-awareness. We have to start it, it's the basis of everything, right? What do we need? What's going on? We have to name it. We have to know I need quiet time after work before I can be fully present. I need a day each week that's just for me. I need to process before we can continue this conversation. Oh, I hate that one. I really do.
And she's being very honest right now.
But I do because and again, I'm going to gender specific it, but my experience of most of the men, at least the ones I date, and granted, I have dated a few from the same birthday, so could be that. But
recently?
No, but I still remember.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
But they like to process, and I like to process and get it over and done with, and move on, And so it is a big request for me to be patient about that. But to hear somebody say, I'm not leaving, I'm resetting, or whatever that means, and then we need to communicate it, right? We need to let the other person know, and without any blame or any threat or any feeling like that. And then we need to somehow co-create agreements, whether they're spoken or unspoken. I'm all for speaking because, just to get clear. Yeah.
So I think a lot of the communication stuff stems from a fear that somehow this space is unhealthy. It means something different than someone needing space. So if we think the person is trying to avoid issues, not willing to go there. Right, Shay, exactly. Okay, you got it. Or that they're just never really gonna deal with the relationship. And so if we're using space to just avoid the conversation, avoid being in relationship and dealing with whatever issues may be on the table, then that's not taking space. That's hiding. or whatever you want to call it. That's running away. But I think the kind of space we're talking about is the kind where we are maintaining things in our own lives that give us energy, that fuel us, make us feel good, make us feel accomplished, make us feel knowledgeable and learned, or whatever the thing is we need to feel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Did I trigger something?
No.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I mean, because it's so different. We have to keep from falling into the trap of whatever our thing is, whatever our insecurity is, whatever it is, and I know that, it's just so different. It's just so different sometimes that, when men ask for space, that you're just saying, I need to recalibrate, I need to process, I need to be alone so that I can reconnect and come back, fully and completely. And when women say that, they're thinking, I need to return to myself so I can return to us. I need to return with my nails painted, or whatever it is, whatever it is that lets us.
But isn't that a recalibration?
Yeah, but it's a different kind of recalibration.
How?
Because I think because women are more intuitive, feely, like it's a different experiential of the thing.
So,
what I mean?
Because it's different, it's hard to understand it in a different person. Meaning, because it means something different to you, even though it results in a similar result. I mean, it sounds like both of what you described result in the same thing.
Maybe, but it looks different. And if we were in the midst of that space issue, it would feel different in the conversation, I think. All right, let's see. Hold on. What is Savannah need to say?
She's already said it. Here it is.
You have fears of abandonment. The naturally space for an anxious person can create a lot of havoc. If there isn't communication that I'm coming back, I'm not leaving. The reassurance. Yeah, that's absolutely it. And I mean, we could go through all different.
And here's the thing. I think there's a couple different things here. One of them is in the moment saying, I need to have space and get out of here, right? And that sets up that whole piece that she's indicating there, where you have to say, I'm coming back, I'm not leaving forever, whatever, right? But I think the healthy space thing is really where we set up a system so that we know that certain things can happen in the relationship or outside of the relationship for each other, and that it's okay because people come back.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, because we know the relationship, it has the strength and the solidity and the connection, that this is not about getting away from it. This is about fueling up to be participating in it.
Yes, but then I return to what I said, that it's about communication, because if we take space during conflict and we don't say, let's agree on a time to resume, or let's, we leave it open-ended, then we don't know.
But that's that assumes every time someone is trying to take the space they need in their life, it becomes a conflict. It doesn't need to be in a conflict. You don't need it needs to be a part of the system.
Right.
The system has to have space for people to have space.
Yes. And but I think we're focusing more on the times when you get to the point where you say, I need more space. Yeah. Yes, sure.
Well,
we can build it into a.
But that's what I just said. We need to deal with it before that.
Yeah.
It needs to be built in.
Read what Savannah says.
It needs to be communicated, but it needs to be built in.
It still needs to be communicated.
What is it?
All right.
Oh, look at that. Time's almost up.
It still needs to be communicated. It's just that's just taking care of your partner. It's like you take care of your kid. You wouldn't tell your kid one time, look both ways when you cross the street, or I love you, or whatever. You tell them all the time. You know what I mean? While they're,
Yes.
so at least, yeah, it just needs to be communicated. And I think as we end this segment, which clearly we could do this again, but we're talking about, space. Space really isn't a threat; it's a tool, and boundaries turn space into safety, not uncertainty. And I want to share the space isn't about absence; it's really about presence with boundaries.
Mhm.
And so that is the goal, really, to move towards creating all of that. And I'm going to allow Savannah to speak again. The avoidant anxious dynamic. If my partner knows I lean anxiously attached, then there's a certain level of awareness they now have to know how to best support me in that. And if you're more avoidant attached, it's helpful to say, I can't talk about this right now, but I will once I've had my space. Yes, yes, yes.
Who's on the show?
What?
Go up to the eyeball.
So anyway, so that's what we're talking about, and that is Savannah saying that this was good. Yeah, no, that's not what it is.
That's so good.
Yeah, she's talking about.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you to Shay for coming back. We're sorry we missed your other comments, but I hope that the rest of the conversation continued to nurture you somehow. And thank you all for being here and for watching later. And know that that we enjoy doing this. That it is it's a labor of love. And thank you all for being there.
Yeah, and if today's conversation opened something for you, a new understanding or permission or even a new question, that's the work of a healthy space already beginning. So just keep breathing, and remember that space isn't distance; it's really oxygen, and that it supports us and it gives us the room to stay grounded and connected, and then we can come close again and step back into the relationship and create something new that's not just from surviving, but from thriving. So until next time.
Until next time.
Keep rocking the love, everybody. And the world needs it. Keep rocking the love with presence and honesty and with just the right amount of space. We love you. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Rock the love.